Hi there everybody, this is David, and Suikoden is one of my favorite series of all time. I've loved it ever since I picked it up in 1995, along with Beyond the Beyond and Wild Arms, for like $5 in a bargain bin. It is spectacular. I've loved all the games that I have played, and I've gotta say, hell must have frozen over because I'm even looking forward to Suikoden Star Leap, a gacha game. I know, really, it's kind of shocking. But I do want to tell you all about it because a new trailer dropped, and also I want to explain this game to y'all because I think that you think that it's something that it isn't. There is a lot going on with this game, and we need to clear up some misconceptions. So I definitely do think that's worth the sub as you come along with me and you join our party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for the sub and the like, it helps me out a ton. So we're going to be starting off with the story of what this game actually is. This is taking place before the events of the first Suikoden game, so it is a complete prequel, and it says that it follows the Rune of Change, one of the 27 true runes that are said to have created the world. Tragedy strikes your lakeside village located to the east of the Scarlet Moon Empire, which is what, where Suikoden 1 took place. Mysterious enemies attack, houses go up in flames, and people flee for their lives. So after the enemies leave, you, the hero, along with your friends, set out to get sweet, sweet revenge and restore the village. So along the way, you're also going to be meeting some old friends and new friends. Old friends like Victor, Flick, Odessa, Vicky is in screenshots. Yeah, it's pretty freaking cool. We also got a brand new combat trailer, which looks amazing, which I am showing here behind me right here. So it's using a timeline-based encounter system like a lot of games have been using. If I would compare this encounter system to anything, I would say it's kind of like Octopath Traveler, because you do have the timeline sort of system, you have different ways of attacking, and if you hit the enemy's weak point, you can unbalance them and then deal like massive amounts of damage, kind of like, reducing an enemy's shield points in Octopath and then, busting the ever-loving crap out of them. But there's also like rune attacks and special attacks that you can do, which are essentially like limit breaks. And each of them have a different cooldown thing. So I don't think that there's like an MP system. It said that there's a different cooldown for limit breaks as well as a cooldown for runes. So we will have to look more into that. I kind of liked the rune charge system myself. It was something that set Suikoden apart from other games in the genre, so I would be upset if they did get rid of that rune charge system myself. But, you can't judge until it actually happens. So, it seems pretty cool. Also, if you're able to kind of like line up all your characters on the timeline together, they can kind of chain their attacks and deal, shit tons of damage. So that's really freaking cool. It has a lot of strategy. And speaking of strategy, there are war battles, just like you would think that there were war battles. And you can actually go ahead and you can use support characters as well as attacking characters in those war battles. And it shows some other characters here that are familiar to y'all who've maybe played the game. Yeah, you see a little Sergeant Duck right there from Suikoden 3. You see Tuda from Suikoden 2. Stallion is here as one, along with, Victor and Flick and Odessa and all that other kind of stuff. Also, this isn't just coming to mobile, it's also coming to the PC. And if something's coming to the PC, it's going to be having controller support. So that is just amazing, if I do say so myself. These screenshots that we've got to see look absolutely gorgeous. Like this pixel artwork, it looks so fantastic. Here's Vicky popping up, everybody's surprised because she kind of warps on in and everything. Here's a picture at nighttime with Victor and Flick kind of overlooking a cliff, which is very Suikoden 2 right there. It looks so good. I cannot say enough good things about it. You get to like rebuild your town and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of getting like Octopath vibes here, not only from the battle system, but just from like the rebuilding the town thing. The Octopath Traveler 0 thing came out, and we're talking about rebuilding the town, and you have the same thing going on here with Suikoden, but then again, Suikoden has always had the town rebuilding thing. Now, something else that I do want to reiterate, I have mentioned this before on multiple videos now, because every time I bring this up, all I hear is people screaming about gacha. But there has been an interview that was put out with Konami, and I want to go over this interview again because I think it's very important that everybody just kind of keeps their facts straight and doesn't, just fly off the handle irrationally. It says, I would also like to ask about collecting companions. I heard that the new 108 Stars of Destiny can be obtained without the gacha. Is it correct to assume that all 108 stars can be obtained for free? If so, what are you using the gacha for? The answer. The new 108 stars can be recruited as you progress through the main story. So it's all included in the story. You get 108 characters with no gacha. However, they are considering a system where you can acquire characters from the previous games through gacha and special events. So I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. If you want to build up your little dream team and use characters from, different games and bring them in, then you will have to use gacha. But if you just want the 108 stars, you just want what the game provides, it is there for you, much like Sword of Convaleria gives you characters as you just kind of play the game, and then if you want extra really, bonus characters or whatever, then you have to go ahead and spin the gacha. So it says that they've asked the illustrator to design new 108 characters, but they're also planning to have various illustrators redesign the characters from previous games in order to fit it into this game and fit it into this aesthetic and this style. Then they go on to say, tell us a bit more about the gacha. In addition to the previous games, will emblems or equipments or runes, will things like that be required for gacha? And they say no. It will only be characters that are acquired through the gacha. So it's not like, you get 108 characters, but their equipment all sucks, so you have to go and spin the gacha. No, it doesn't work that way. This game is going to be a standalone game, free to play, that you can play without having to spend a dime, which is so nice. They also go on and they talked about some costume design, saying, hey, are you gonna maybe switch things up, design some new costumes, things like that, and they say the concept exists. We are thinking about it right now. So I am super stoked for this game. Like I said, hell has definitely frozen over because I'm looking forward to this. But then again, I have played some good games like this, some good mobile games in my time, and I don't want to judge it prematurely. You know what I mean? Because Suikoden is great. I love the Suikoden collection. I've loved every single game that I've played in the series, and I want to see it keep going. So this looks great. I am so looking forward to this. We don't have a release date yet, but we do know it is coming out for mobile and it is coming out for PC, and we do know that it's free, and we do know that the gacha is not intrusive. This seems to be the new way that gacha games are going. 5-something years ago, gacha was all over the place. It was super intrusive, but now they're kind of separating it out so it's not as bad. And I've played many gachas like that now, and I've enjoyed the ones that I've played that are like that, the ones that don't throw it in your face, you know what I mean? So there's some good ones out there, so just don't lose your mind about this. Go into it with an open mind instead, and hopefully this will be everything that I've dreamed of for. So yeah, now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this news? What do you think about the new battle system trailer, the whole gacha thing, all that kind of stuff? Let me know in the comments, and as always, have a good day.